I think basketball is such a horrible product now. And, I think that LeBron and Steph Curry and those guys did a great job of carrying the league for a long time. But much like the Crosbys and the Ovies, they're handing it off in amazing hands. Whereas I don't know if that's the case in basketball right now. Yeah. I don't know who the next wave are. And that's no disrespect to the sport. It's just the time is ours, buddy.
The leagues need one guy. Like, who's basketball's guy right now? Which is in a different form of fashion because they have a bunch of guys, but they're not like American guys, so they can't build around. Hockey's in a different world where the hockey, I consider Canada and American guys like for the North America, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can rally behind, at least in this country. Like, they don't have that in a lot of other sports right now.
I think that fighting in hockey is what differentiates us from other sports and gives us that added edge. Considering of the four major sports, it's probably at the bottom of the totem pole. But with continuing best on best, Olympics and World Cup, I think it can continue to claw away and propel at that audience.
I think you're clawing at baseball, Bubs.
Yeah, baseball's brutal.
Baseball and basketball are up for the clawing.
It's brutal. I think basketball is such a horrible product now. And, I think that LeBron and Steph Curry and those guys did a great job of carrying the league for a long time. But much like the Crosbys and the Ovies, they're handing it off in amazing hands. Whereas I don't know if that's the case in basketball right now. Yeah. I don't know who the next wave are. And that's no disrespect to the sport. It's just the time is ours, buddy.
It is. It is.
Let me do the lead up real quick and blast through this. So, Four Nations tournament, we all kind of know at this point. Yep. US and Canada played that game beforehand on Saturday night, started off with three fights, going in hot. So, anticipation for the final in Boston was huge.
The Trump comments, the booing of this, it just all manifested into like this was the biggest game.
And also the WWE approach that the Kachuk brothers took.
Fucking
Canadians are a little bit...
It couldn't be a better name.
I know, eh?
The Kachuk brothers.
And Walt, that's what they call him, Keith Kachuk. There was a former Walt Kachuk in the NHL. That's why Keith Kachuk's nickname became
I always
Walt.
wondered why he was Walt.
Yeah, and I think that people thought it was his kid, but it wasn't. He should be a Hall of Famer in his own right. He scored 500 goals. He was very impactful in growing the game with the 96 World Cup of Hockey where U.S. shocked Canada. And that was another moment that propelled hockey in the United States and the growth of it here. And just the fact that he passed the torch on to his boys. And Canadians handle it a little bit different. They're a little bit more silent in their approach. They handle their business as such. But in the States, you have to do things differently if you're hockey. You have to be a little bit more loudmouth. So the fact that they were going on and talking about that group chat and yapping, I love that. I think that that's the WWE approach. And I'm so grateful that they did it because there's a reason that it hit 16 million viewers and they're a big part of that.
Exactly. Now you got to explain to us, this game goes back and forth. It goes, one Canada, one US, then Canada hits it up again. The U.S. ties it up. They get into OT. Explain overtime to us, or it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I apologize.
McKinnon scored first, followed by the Tkachuk.
Yeah, Brady Tkachuk. And he wasn't even supposed to play because he was a little banged up, as well as Matthew being banged up. And Brady scores this goal when obviously he's going to the blue paint and the crease. And I thought that Austin Matthews had 2 great assists, and he played a tremendous game. And then USA took the lead. This kid, Jake Sanderson, who wasn't even supposed to be at the tournament, another unbelievable youngster, took Quinn Hughes' spot, scores the go-ahead goal. And then Mitchie Marner, a Canadian kid who had a lot of pressure coming on to him in this game because he'd never really lived up to a big moment. And he ends up making a great play over to Sam the Bennett Menace, who's a savage on the ice. He's a savage. He's the one who sucker punched Marchand in that series, who got away with it. And then that set the table for overtime. And
now they're playing on the same team.
McDavid needed a moment in a game like this. And he got that beautiful pass from Mitchie Marner in the slot. And you even said it, though, going back before that. Binnington made 3-4 10-bell saves where this game should have been over.
I thought we were winning like 4 times. And can you explain overtime? What's the rule? Is it golden goal?
So, yeah, it changed because in the round robin, it was 3-on-3, which is a rule that the NHL adopted to make overtime more excited.
And it's quicker probably too.
Faster, quicker, and more games are ending in overtime as opposed to shootout, which I don't like the shootout. So, but when you go to the gold medal game, you actually go back to 5-on-5, the golden goal. First goal to score, it's game over. And that's the way that hockey should be played, especially in a moment like this. And, Connor McDavid, they had an ozone draw. They made a great play along the wall from Cale Makar over to Mitch Marner, and he fed McDavid for that moment, and he didn't miss. So,
and he was silent the whole game.
He did not have a great game. He seemed a little bit nervous. His reads were off, and he self-admittedly said that in his post-game press conference. But what do big players do?
Big time moments.
Tom Brady didn't have a good first half against the Falcons.
No.
You didn't either. You guys were dog shit. But you guys went in the locker room, you figured things out.
Rallied it up.
Boom.
It's not how you start always, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish, baby.
So Canada won the first ever Four Nations face-off, 3-2 in overtime. Nathan McKinnon won MVP. National emergency in Canada avoided.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, what does this game mean winning for Canada, winning the first Four Nations, where this could go? I mean, is it important for Canada, the inventor of the sport, to win the first one just for the record books? Yeah. This is going to go forever.
Yeah, based on ridicule and the amount of comments that would have came after.
God forbid America would have won the first Four Nations.
Yeah, I just think it had more to do with the fact that like Canada is they're not struggling big time right now, but the economy's in a bit of a dip. Our dollar's not doing good. We're changing leadership very soon, and hockey's the one thing that we get to fall back on, and that's our sport. We feel like we're the creators of it. If you look at the long history of it, we've been very dominant, especially against the United States, and that's the one thing we can hang our hat on. And when you guys came in our building. In Canada, in Montreal, the mecca of hockey, along with Toronto, and you punched us in the face and then won that game and ran us out of the building, we needed a response. So we ended up winning that gold medal game, but really, as of right now, it's 1-1. And that's why the table has been set so perfectly for the Olympics. Like, this isn't over. This is just the beginning of what's about to happen.
It's just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Let's name this game and let's score this game and let's see where it ranks in our top 100 games or our 100 games that we've fucking done now.
Yeah.
We're close to 100 games. Yeah. Name of the game, the Four Nations final. Oh, Canada, suck it.
Suck it, Kachuk is kind of a funny ring to it.
The McDavid game, the goal in the garden, our game, just the beginning. Or if you have a name that you want to call this game, what do you want to call it?
I kept saying, "Who's your daddy?"
The Who's Your Daddy game?
We made you our little bitch.
All right, put it up.
Yeah,
Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah.
Score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it, Biz. Stakes 0 to 10, decimals okay. The stakes of this Four Nations final game.
Oh, I would say 10 out of 10. It was the most talked about hockey game since the 2010 Olympics. And I want to say that it might have surpassed those numbers. So 10.
I have to agree. This is going to be a high score for me, a 9-2. A 9.2. I mean, we haven't. This is the most excited I've been about hockey in a long time since watching Mighty Ducks.
Boy, we had Trump was talking shit, calling us the 51st state. This meant everything.
Geopolitical nature always raised it. We did the Miracle on Ice game with Jim Craig, and that's always gets it to that high 10.
What was going on geopolitically then?
The Cold War.
Okay, so I'm not a history buff, and I wasn't born yet, so my apologies.
Jack at home had an 8.6. I had an 8.4. It's international best on best. It's still a brand new tournament, right? It's still not a gold medal. I think ESPN was pumping its tires a little too much at the end, but it was still awesome, and it was so much better than the All-Star game would have been. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people had a hard time grasping. Is it was like, oh, it's kind of this like makeshift fluff event to like as a precursor to the Olympics. And also I think people are sick of the All-Star game, but it wasn't so much what it was coming in. It's what it evolved into.
Yeah. It's what people were texting me on Saturday, like, oh my God, people who don't give a shit about hockey. So it was fun.
Yeah.
I text like all 7 of my Canadian friends.
I had a friend from Montreal. He was like worried. He's like, I don't know. I hope this turns out okay. There's going to be riots. I don't know, man. I was like,
by the way, I'm technically half Canadian.
Oh, are you? My mother was born in Chicago.
My mom was born in Kitchener, Ontario.
No shit. They're Kitchener Rangers.
Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, wow.
So, star power 0 to 10, decimals okay. There's fucking stars everywhere in this building.
Yeah. I mean, I would say a 9.5. Simply because that McAvoy was our lineup, Quinn Hughes. So the biggest blessing for hockey would be everybody healthy at the Olympics.
Was Gretzky in the building?
Gretzky
was honorary captain.
Honorary captain.
Mike Ruzioni, honorary captain for USA.
That's when my buddy said, "Hey, like Ruzioni did so much for USA hockey, but you got him against the great one there for Canada." The game was over. Yep. We knew we had that one in the bag the minute that Wayne walked out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9. This is going to be a high
Jack had
score.
8.9. I had a 9.7 just as an homage to Connor McDavid. Okay.
A 9 point. That's the highest score you've ever
best
given.
on best. This is best on best.
All right, all right.
I love that.
The only reason it wasn't a perfect 10 is because, international, Russia's not in the mix.
Ooh. Gameplay 0 to 10, decimals okay. The gameplay, you got to score.
So the game that there was 3 fights, it kind of lulled off, but the championship game was incredible. Let's go with I'll go with a 9-5-2. 4-3, always more scoring is a little bit better, but couple lead changes and overtime can't beat it.
I'm American. I like to see high scoring. That's why we do that in all of our sports. Our basketball is 150 to 152 now. Our football is 60 to 61. I want my hockey to be at least 12-10. So I'm going to go with the 8.
I want my hockey to be lacrosse. Jack had a 9.1. I had an 8.8.
The name of the game, the Who's Your Daddy
No, I actually got a better name.
game.
Oh, let's hear it.
Who's your daddy? Donald.
Who's your daddy?
I'm going to get deported, but I think it's a hell of a name.
Just for anyone out there, ICE, do not come to Brentwood.
I'm sure they were going to be here anyway.
Yeah. The name of the game. We got to score the name.
Well, now that
game.
I threw the Donald on it, I think I'm being petty as shit. Hey, he could talk his shit. We talk our shit. It's just sports, but the name is 10 out of 10. Suck it, Donald. The 11th province.